Good evening. Well, it was just told that we are having trouble streaming to Facebook, so let me see what's going on here. Um, hmm, It is not streaming, so let me end the stream and we're going to restart here, guys. Let me reconnect our Facebook and see what's going on. Well, it says the stream is live, so if anybody's out there and watching, let me know. If not, we're going to play some games and let me see what's happening here. Mandy says we are not live on Facebook, but we are on YouTube. So that's interesting. So we're going to go with it. It looks like it's a Facebook problem tonight. So Amanda, can you jump into Facebook and put a comment and point people toward our YouTube channel? Thank you very much. So we're going to keep going. Hi, welcome to Grange Month Live, and it's not a day without some technical difficulties. For those of you who don't know, my name is Philip Veneta. I am your National Grange Communications Director, and we are kicking off Grange Month tonight. April is Grange Month, and we are going to start by introducing our president of the National Grange, Christine Hamp, who is joining us from outside of Spokane, Washington tonight. Hello, Chris. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. A little frazzled right now by the technical difficulties, so we're going to figure this out.
You've got it. It looks like we're going to be fine.
You will. I'm going to send this over to you and Amanda here in a little bit once she gets on, so I can poke around in some settings in YouTube.
Okay.
But just wanted to check in and see, what does Grange Month mean to you?
Grange Month means it's the opportunity to absolutely show ourselves to our community, to have fun, to go out and ask friends and neighbors to join the Grange, to open up our halls, to try something new, to do all those things that we've been maybe thinking about, or for whatever reason we just haven't gotten around to. This is the perfect excuse, I guess, to give them a try and to go with Grange Month. I mean, the cool thing about Grange Month being in April is it's in that second quarter, that magical second quarter, where we're interested in membership numbers, right, for the year. And so it's a great opportunity to try those things, make those asks, and feel really good about those second quarter reports when we turn them in, because the fruit of that labor is in the form of membership applications, and we get to make those numbers go up.
Awesome. Yeah. I think trying something new is something that I think people are scared of doing. But if there's one month that we should really be focused on trying something new and inviting people in and letting new ideas shine, I really think that this is the month for it.
It is. Yeah. I was just going to say, one of the hardest things is to sit in your Grange Hall with the group of regulars and plan something for the folks that aren't there. Right? You're trying to come up with ideas and make something happen for those that aren't in the room, but you want to bring in, and that's really difficult for a lot of us, is to have that thought process of doing something to get that next group in and to set the table, so to speak, for your Grange for the years and the decades to come.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think planning for the future is scary. And I think that this month is what I want to encourage all Granges to do, is to think for the future. We've all done the programs for years that we're familiar with and we're comfortable with. I think Grange Month is the month to challenge ourselves to be uncomfortable for a little bit. Be uncomfortable with the future, be uncomfortable with maybe something new. but let's try harder, right?
Well, and that's where the theme comes from in many respects is that Grange strong theme. I thought would be perfect for Grange because it is everything that I've known Grange to be for my entire life, and that is that we are better together, that we are stronger together, that we all are wearing that same jersey and we're on the same team. And when we put our minds to it and we think about things from that 30,000 foot level rather than from what's good for Chris, it's what's good for my Grange, what's good for my state Grange. And now I'm in a position where it's what's good and what's best for the national Grange.
Exactly.
So you're making decisions and you're thinking about things from this different level. It's no longer just one person's what's best. It's this whole group. And when we get that whole group pulling together, that's like you've heard me say before, that's when the magic happens, right?
Well, pulling together, you're talking about your favorite movie right there. Favorite recent movie anyway, Boys in the Boat. I'm
Absolutely.
just going to put the plug out there now because Chris will talk about it later, I'm sure, to go watch Boys in the Boat. And spoiler alert, they win.
They do win.
But it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy to get there.
And the message is that we do better when we don't just row for ourselves, but we row for our teammates, right? And so that's Grange Month right there, is rowing for your teammates, because it's not about us right here, right now. It's about making sure that we set this thing up for success for the next 157 years. So here we are at 157. And are we doing everything exactly like those 7 founders set it up and thought that we might be doing it? Yeah, I would venture to guess that the answer is there's some things that are different, right?
Exactly.
And so that's where we're at, is making sure that we have that same vision and that same willingness to get out there and try new things and make sure that we can hand that baton off. Right. I mean, all of these sports analogies, it's rowing the boat, it's handing the baton, it's pulling, it's pushing, it's part of that team, which is that Grange strong theme.
Well, I'm going to bring in a visionary here. Maybe not. She wouldn't describe herself in athletic terms, I'm sure. But one of our Grange visionaries, somebody who's certainly pushing us all to be better Grangers and to increase our membership numbers for sure, is our Membership and Leadership Development Director, Amanda Brazana Rios. Good evening, Amanda.
Yeah, definitely not the athlete here. Not at all.
I think we can all just point to Chris for
that. Unless I'm with Chris and she's hiking us 25 miles in like 3 days, in which case.
I have the battle scars to prove it still.
You do. You had a fence attack here. I remember that.
Yeah. So Amanda, what does Grange Month mean to you?
April is really a cool month because you're starting to get into this kind of feeling that it's an actual new year. I mean, I know the new year is in January, but I don't know about you all, but I'm still hibernating. So there's something about the timing of our degrees. There's something about the timing of nature and Grange Month all tying in together that it feels like we're having a little bit of a rebirth. And that's a perfect time to be talking about kind of just what I was hearing you guys talk about as I was trolling around to see if I could tell everybody to go to YouTube. And that's, you have to try something new. And sometimes it's bearing the fruit of those ideas, right? That is the thing that catches fire, that sparks people to get interested, that makes them come in the doors. And then they're being born into the Grange. I put on my Facebook the other day that I just realized, if I was born the day that I joined the Grange, I would be subordinate age right now, all but. And that was so weird, because I don't feel like it's been 14 years, but it has almost been. But I've also had to think about all of the things that I've learned about Grange and how that wasn't always in the way that you think. Sometimes we're asking people to run or do a marathon before we ever taught them how to walk. And so there's some parts of that I think Grange Month is really good for as well, because we're going and we're figuring out how to talk about not just our history, but our identity today, and some of the programs that we have that are really great for people to get involved in, and just some of the ways that we're reaching out beyond our organization to others and really making a difference. So it's a really cool way for every Grange to take a beat and figure out, how do we talk to new people, and then how do we talk about new people?
I like the idea of this being the new Grange year, and really, I should have done some research at some point in my life about why April is Grange Month, but it dawns on me that it's the first. You're right. Fredonia Grange was founded in April, but it also occurs to me that it's the first full month in spring, which is the first set of the ritual for the Grange, and is kind of introducing people. It's a great way to introduce people into a new Grange year, into the birth of something new and new ideas. And if that's a fresh way to take it, and if that's the way we want to take this month, great. Like, let's do something wild, which leads me to introducing our resident wild man. We're going to introduce tonight. We are joined by National Grange Youth Ambassador Garrett Phelps, joining us from New York. Hello, Garrett.
Hello.
I wouldn't normally describe you as a wild man, but that was the best intro I could come up with on my toes tonight.
It works.
So, Garrett, what does Grange Month mean to you?
Grange Month especially hits me just like what it means to me is it allows us to celebrate an organization that has been here for a long time. And I know that's what people have already said, but I also find it very interesting is that we get a whole month. But when you look at like FFA and them, they only celebrate a week. So I find that just very interesting on even just showing, like, we may not have the numbers compared to them, but we are still relevant. We are still here.
And we certainly have spirit.
And that definitely is what Grange Month is showing we are still here and we are still relevant.
Great. Amanda, I'm going to toss it to you. I mean, we've kind of been delving into this as we've been going, but what are some, for Granges who want to step out, who want to try something different this month, what are some ideas that you could have to encourage, your realm as in membership and leadership, to encourage Granges to try something in that realm this month? What are some program ideas or events or something in that area?
Well, the first thing that I think I want to say is that there are some really great resources within the families of Grange members who can talk to us about what would be exciting, what would be a great thing to bring to their communities. And so if there's somebody who's a kid or a grandkid or a cousin or a nephew who isn't Granging with you, but at least understands the basics of the organization, like they know who we are and who we aren't, they're a really great place to start to not only see who and what we could be and do, but also, what's going on in the community that is not being met, right? I think we get kind of boxed in where we're seeing what we do all the time, but sometimes we forget seeing what else isn't out there. The other thing, you know me, Phil, I'm a media person, right? So I love looking in the newspaper. I know that sounds silly, but look at what the letters to the editor are saying. Look at what your front page is saying. Look at who's there. There may be a kid like Garrett who's starting a community garden who you're like, that kid looks like a Granger. Like, if that kid isn't a Granger, they should be. And do some personal outreach. But also, if you're seeing some things in those comments, in the newspaper, the letters to the editor, you can bring those to your Grange and easily say, hey, there's a hole. There's something missing here, and we think we could fill it, or I think we could fill it in some way. And the last thing is, we have talked, I think, a lot, especially with Chris recently, about the idea of the partnerships that we can create. I know a lot of our local Granges are doing amazing partnerships with, other organizations in their town, or the Chamber of Commerce, or one of the things that I'd really love to see us do more of in general is partnering with some of the businesses, and by that I mean a lot of the agribusinesses, especially in your town. Some of these farms would love to have rangers bring other people and do tours, or come to their stand in the evening and talk a little bit with the people who are coming by to buy something about Grange, and giving the kids activities while mom and dad shop. Like, there's so many ways that we can be recruiting while we're also doing great service.
Absolutely. Chris, I'm going to toss it to you now. You started alluding to this earlier, but back in November, we announced a new Grange theme, the 2024-2025 year, which I'm going to throw over all of our faces right now, which is Grange Strong, Rooted, Resilient, United. And I just wanted to kind of toss this to you. You were the driving force behind this idea. And I wanted to know why this theme, what you hope Granges make of it, and what we can do with it this month. I'm going to drop that now.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things is, and it looks like Garrett went and got off the reservation and took his shirt off with the right logo. I got it backwards here tonight.
No, you're good. You're good on the stream.
But here we are with, all four of us with a different Grange experience, right? We different backgrounds. And yet here we are wearing the same uniform. We're on this same team, and we're working together to make sure that the Grange is as relevant tomorrow and as it is today, or as it was decades ago. And that's the strong part. That strong part is what ties us all together, and is what makes this work, is what makes Grange is, as we think about the past, as we think about the present, as we look forward to the future, it's this idea of those three words that go across that logo. Mm-hmm. The rooted part. It's hard to argue with an organization that is still here doing amazing things 157 years later, right? It's that rooted not only over a long period of time, but in all of these places, in all of these communities across the country where Grange has an impact and makes a difference every single day. And it's one of those things where you don't measure it with huge projects. I mean, yes, you can put rural free delivery and broadband and big projects with our name, but where Grange really just meets where the rubber hits the road is those tens and tens of thousands of hours that all of you out there are doing every single day. Mm-hmm. It's opening the door to your hall and having a meal that supports a local family who needs some help. It's having a scholarship fund. It's helping clean roadside trash up and making your community look better. It's filling in all of those things where we're finding local government no longer has the resources to do some of the things that we come to think of that makes our community unique and what we want it to be. And so the Grange steps in, and other organizations that we partner with step in and make those things happen. So that's that rooted part. Is it's not just waiting for those big things, but it's taking those steps every single day, and that cumulative effect, right? Mm-hmm. That's the cool part. And then of course resilient. How do you not call the Grange resilient after this much time and handing the baton? I think that's the resilient piece, is understanding that we're just here for this tiny little bit of time. And some people's little bits of times, can be 50, 60, 70 years of service. But it's still in the history of the Grange, it's just this little bit of time. Mm-hmm. And you've got to have the trust that you have prepared somebody to take that baton. So when you hand that baton, they are ready to do the good work. They're ready to keep it going, and they're committed to making sure that then they make sure that the next person's ready to receive the baton. And without that trust and that resilience, we wouldn't be here. Somebody placed the trust in us, and so we have got to make sure that we return that to the next group that's going to get the keys to the hall, that's going to carry that on. And so many times we see where that's not an easy thing for folks, right? Is to give somebody else the keys to the Grange Hall because grandpa did this or great grandma did that, and it's like, yep, and it's time to pass that legacy on and make sure that Garrett and his generation are set to take us the next length of the race. And then, of course, the united piece. We've touched about that with the uniforms. We've touched about that with, yeah. Oh, gosh darn it. On Facebook, you can reverse it, right? And I'm struggling with this on this one tonight. But it's making sure that we're working together, that we're supporting each other, that if there's a decision made that you might not agree with 100%, you're still on board and you're still supporting it because it's Grange, and that's what's important, is to make it successful. How would you not support a Grange initiative just because you didn't agree with it personally? I mean, when the greater good, when your brothers and sisters said, this is what we want to do, then you jump in and you make it happen. And that's some of the give and take that you have as part of a team, right? There's some games where you're the quarterback, and there's some games where you're rooting from the bench, and so that's really what this has got to have. We have got to be able to pull together and be united across our individual Grange, across our Pomonas, our states, and very much so across the nation, to give that front that we are stronger tomorrow than we are today, every single day.
Yeah, and what occurs to me in listening to you talk is that each of these three things builds on the one before it as well. Mm-hmm. Like, our roots in our community are what have led us to be resilient for 156 years. And our resiliency is what is going to help us be united today, tomorrow, and in the past as well. And all three of them together are what makes us strong. I posted in the comments as you were talking about accessing our Grange Month materials. And one of the posters that I created for this year says Grange Roots Run Deep, because that's the idea of taking, I mean, the central imagery, of course, is the tree. And while we didn't have a ton of roots in the image because it was getting a little, clustered, one of the things that I was really focused on was ensuring that the roots are shown. And the one image is that we have 156 years of history in our roots that are really going to help us take off and sprout to the future. We can't ignore our past as we're looking toward what we're building. But we need to look forward. And I think so often just we as people get stuck looking at what we've done instead of what we can do and the force that we have in front of us.
Yeah,
I was going to say something real quick. I'm super excited because one of our newest members in the country is on here tonight. And that tells you when you get a new member in, they're excited to be here and be part of this. Hi, Jeff. We're excited to have you here.
Should say that is Jeff Winton, who is the founder and CEO of Rural Minds, who is a fantastic Grange partner. Check out the Rural Mental Health Resilience Program, ruralminds.org/resilience. Just going to toss that out there. If you're looking for a Grange Month program, it's not too late to do that one. But now we're going to switch gears here a little bit from some serious conversation to something a little more fun. I should have given a heads up at the beginning of the stream that everybody should have a pen or pencil and a pad of paper with them, because we are going to jump into some categories here with our ambassadors. So as I bring this up, Garrett, if you want to explain the game.
So, categories is a game. We've done this before. It is, we picked out a random letter, and you have about a minute and a half to come up with, I believe it's
Looks like it's seven.
Yeah, it's 7 things, and there's categories for each, and you have that letter. So that letter is the first letter of what it goes. So like, if we're talking about I, and it's a state, Iowa, and it would be something kind of like that. And there's different categories and different letters for each one. And this will be a different transition between letters and categories for this time.
Yes, it sure will. This will be very different. So if you've played with us before, it'll be different categories, I promise. So I'm just going to pick a random slide here. Boom. We're going to go with this one. We're going to spin the spinner. Oh, wait. It jumped me out of the thing, didn't it? It did. Okay. So it gave me the letter T.
So all the spinners are all predetermined. So this one's J.
Oh, that one's J. Sorry, I didn't realize it was predetermined. My bad.
It's fine. So each of them have a different letter with the spinner.
Okay, let me jump back here. Oh, there we go. Okay. So letter J. So here we go. You have a minute 30 starting now. Ish. Okay, time is up. So, those of you playing at home, feel free to jump in the comments when we get to the categories. Let's start with fish.
I had jackfish. I don't even know if that's a real fish.
Jackfish, we're going to go with it.
I don't know why it was in my head, but I decided jackfish is a fish. So
I couldn't come up with a fish.
I have jellyfish. So I don't
jellyfish.
Is that
there
a
we
fish?
Go. Brittany Pittman's there with you on the jellyfish.
Trudy's
there with the jackfish.
Then I say it's real.
To be fair, I was going to put that under things that have spots. And then I was like, that goes with fish.
Jellyfish has, you know what? We're not going to. Sure. Okay, countries.
Jamaica.
I also said Jamaica.
I said Japan.
Uh-huh.
I could totally be wrong about this, but I have Jerusalem.
Jerusalem's a city.
Not a country.
But you know what?
So never mind.
So we had a Japan, we had a Jamaica. I think those are the only 2 options. So
Trudy and I are like,
oh, Brittany coming in clutch with Jordan.
Jordan, that was smart.
Oh, she's smart. Okay, there's a reason she's smarter than the rest of us. Okay, things that have spots.
Jaguar.
Jaguar. Or if you're Garrett, jellyfish. What else has spots? People in Facebook and YouTube land. What do we got?
I think we all have Jaguars.
I think we all went Jaguars. That would be incredible if we did. Okay, historical figures. Just for the joy of the alliteration, I said Joan Jett.
Ooh, I said Joe Jackson, like shoeless Joe Jackson, since we were
Yes.
doing all the sports.
So I don't know if I spelled this right, but Julius Caesar. Okay. I was not sure if that started with a J or a G, but I was like, woo.
We've got a lot of Jeffersons here. Chris, what did you have?
I had John Paul.
Ooh. As in Pope John Paul?
As in Pope John Paul.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joyce Parker, Jefferson the Moose. Jesse James from Matt Espenshade. So back to something with spots. Kara Johnston thinking outside the box here with Jelly Bellies, which
Very good.
absolutely.
Ooh, the toasted marshmallow ones.
That's
so good.
That's a great one.
The popcorn ones also had the
I just thought about this. Jelly beans.
delicious. I will take them. John
No,
Hancock.
but that would go under things that have spots.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know who Jedediah Smith was, but I'll take it. In something you're afraid of. I said jumping spiders.
I have to agree with you on that one.
I did this one for my friend Jody, which also starts with a J, and I put Jello.
I
too had Jello, although I don't know if I'm exactly afraid of it. So
I think Leroy would have some words with you about being afraid of Jello. Terms of measurement.
jewels.
Jewel.
Jewel.
Yep, I have jewels.
Okay, so things people are afraid of. Matt Espenshade said the Jabberwocky. My mom jumping in here for historical figures said Johnny Appleseed. Hi, Mom.
Oh, that's a good one.
Carrie Blasingame is afraid of junk. I don't know who library design is, but jack-o'-lanterns. Stephanie, that's a great comment. I'm not going to show that one on Facebook, but for those of us that are watching, just take a look at the comment thread there for things Stephanie's son is afraid of. And then book titles. I ran out of time.
So I put Jesus because I was trying to think of like there had to be one that had Jesus as the first word, and I ran out of time. So I was like, so if y'all know something that finishes that thought,
I put Jack and the Beanstalk.
We'll take it at this point.
Jungle Book was a great one.
Oh, Jumanji.
Okay.
I'm sure there's one titled JFK.
Yeah, I was trying to come up with like a Jefferson. Like I think there's a book called Jefferson Lives, but I don't have the proof. You know. Okay, we're gonna do one more round of this. Here we go. We're gonna pick a random slide here. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, this category, your letter predetermined is M, and here we go. Okay, 15 seconds left. This is a really exciting time when we're all just quiet and thinking really hard.
Well, welcome, Kathy, from Garden City Grange.
It's the worst alarm ever.
Look
Me
how
up.
creative we are right now.
Okay, here we go. Let's jump in with TV shows, starting with the letter M. I said Mork and Mindy.
Oh, good one.
Was Mr. Ed a TV show?
Sure
What?
was.
Okay.
That show.
I'm gonna say Money Man just because I don't know. I don't know if that exists. I just feel like that's a TV show kind of name.
Got some great comments here on Facebook.
If
MASH.
you on $1 Million Man there, I think that was one way back
Yeah.
in the day.
Matlock, really.
Oh, Matlock's a great one. Yeah. Oh, and Mrs. Maisel.
Mrs. Maisel, we had a lot of mashes.
Mhm.
Okay, things found in the ocean.
Mollusks.
Mollusks, good.
Had Marine Life.
Vague,
To cover everything.
but not wrong. I said money. There are definitely like some wrecked ships and stuff in there. There's definitely money in the ocean somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, that's better
No,
than what I
mud.
have because I read it wrong and I said Mediterranean.
Hey, the Mediterranean Sea is
Part of the ocean.
sure. I got confused on categories here and didn't realize that Heidi was answering for the previous category when she said mod. I was like, I don't think mod ended up in the ocean, but Carrie, men. Heidi Henderson, mermaids in the ocean, absolutely. Suzanne, oh hey, now Suzanne's name is showing up. Monsters, mahi mahi, marlins. These are great answers, guys. Y'all are smart. Presidents. I think there's only one.
Monroe.
There's at least
I have
two.
Monroe Jackson. Or
I said
Johnson,
Madison.
Sorry.
Monroe.
Yeah, so Madison and Monroe. Okay. Somebody Google that. Oh, Suzanne. Millard Fillmore.
Oh, so if you go first name.
Yeah, you can go first name. I stuck to last name strictly. Product names.
So this is where I was trying to get like completely different because I knew that I'd have lost all my points otherwise. So I did Munchos. Do y'all remember Munchos? They were like that go-to food after you went swimming.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
They're
wouldn't say that.
kind of a chip, kind of a pork crackling. I don't know what they were. They're good.
They were delicious.
The only one I could think of was Maui Jim, or
Wow.
I think that's because I want to go somewhere warm right now.
So I thought of muffins, but now I'm almost thinking Marvel. But I don't know if that
Marvel's a
counts.
great one.
How about Mars?
Mm-hmm. Mucklucks. Like that. Eiley, just keeping it real. Milk. Let's stay basic. Famous females.
What about Marie Curie?
Ooh.
Margaret Thatcher.
Good one.
Okay. I went for the double pointer with Marilyn Monroe.
Ooh. You know, if you put Mrs. in front, you could have a whole bunch.
That's the old, Grange cookbook way. This was
That's right.
submitted by
Right. Yeah.
Marshmallows is, that's for the pre. Suzanne, great. Monica Lewinsky, Mariah Carey, Meryl Streep, Mary Mother of Jesus, great for the season. Maya Angelou, a couple more Madonnas, another Marie Antoinette, Melissa Gilbert.
I don't know if we heard anything from Garrett on this one.
He just kind of
So
shook
I'm,
his
so I'm gonna be very honest. I could not think of this one. These ones are really stumping me.
Okay.
If you want to go for a famous Grange female, Mary Buffington.
There you go. That's a great one.
Okay, medicine or drugs?
Metropolol.
Metformin.
Yeah.
I went with the drug that I'm not going to say because I think that it would mute us on Facebook. But we had a study to do. So. Mary Jane. There we go.
It is medicinal. Yes.
Metformin. I saw melatonin somewhere, but now I can't see that comment anymore.
Lily Jaguar.
Oh, there it
Leah.
is.
I see it. I like it.
My doll. Good. Throwing it back with some milk of magnesia there, Matt. Motrin. Okay, last one here. Things that are metal.
I said metal. MEDAL, like metals.
Oh, metals are metal.
Motorcycles.
Mm.
I said mercury.
That's what I said.
That's good.
Monuments are metal.
I love that. Monkey bars.
I think some of these folks forgot that it has to start with M in the...
It's okay. It's all right. Look, we were throwing this stuff down that last few
Yeah,
seconds.
I know. Okay, let me stop sharing here. Okay, that was a little bit of fun. We will come back with another game here in a little bit. But I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Grange Spirit Week that's coming up from April 14th through the 20th. Let me throw up our overlay here. So what this is 7 straight days of social media sharing. Hi, Chris. I can see you now. So what we are challenging you for every day from April 14th to the 20th is, oh my gosh, I can't deal with y'all.
Well, it was a really bad position otherwise. So
You're right. Is to take these categories. What would happen if I move us all? Nope, that's not going to work. And take the day of the theme and to post about it on social media, on your Grange's Facebook page or Twitter or Instagram or LinkedIn. You can also use these out in public and as a way of, if you have a community billboard or something that you are able to control in your town, these are a great way to kind of tell the Grange story as we're going along. So we start on April 14th with Grange Strong Day, and any of these you're able to interpret any way you like. Each day at 10 a.m. Eastern, they'll be posted on the National Grange Facebook page with a little prompt to kind of explain the day. So April 14th is Grange Strong Day. How are you and your Grange strong? On April 15th, which is Monday, Rooted Day. So we have a little bit of a theme here going off the 3 words from the theme. Show off your Granges roots in the community. Show off a way that you are connected to what's happening in your community. On Resilient Day, April 16th, show how your Grange has helped overcome obstacles. On April 17th, United Day, show how your Grange unites members and your community. April 18th, Grange Shirt Day. Post a picture in your Grange shirt. We got some awesome Grange Strong shirts going tonight. There's a ton of Grange shirts. I think I put the challenge for that day when I was scheduling these to show off your oldest Grange shirt. So if any of you are throwing it back to, your junior Grange camp days, can still fit in those shirts or have a quilt made out of them, or a wall hanging, show off your Grange shirt. On April 19th, Grange Project Day, I said you can take this one of 2 different directions. You can either show off a project that your Grange has done in the community or a project that you are working on for a Grange contest. Check out all of our Grange contests. The National Grange Program Guide and Guide to Contest is available on the National Grange website. And then on April 20th, the last day of Grange Spirit Week, Grange Future Day. And this is a day less about pictures and more about thought, and talk about what you hope your Grange or the Grange in general looks like in the future. We are not just planning for the Grange of today, we are planning for the Grange of tomorrow. And that's something that's really important for us to be thinking about, is what is the Grange going to look like in the future? So, team, I'm going to throw it to you guys. What is your favorite of those, and what are some thoughts that you have about what you might share on those days?
Mine is definitely the very last one about Grange Future, because I know I've said this a lot on live streams, but going through the history of our Grange throughout the summer and throughout just even recently, talking with Bonnie and talking with people to see how can we showcase our history so then the people in the future knows what we used to have. We have one of the Granges, the blue book in our hall. But part of it is blue. The rest looks gray. And
Faded with time.
it also shows future is our juniors and our youth being active in their communities and in their Granges are just they can showcase that, and they can say, what do we want in the future? Past national president told me this when I was talking to him. Youth members are Grange members too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with Garrett. I love the last day. So today I got to go to a webinar about fundraising. And if you've ever thought fundraising and membership really work together, they do. There's some great insights that the speaker had. And one of her first things was the reason that you're not fundraising very well, and so put in membership here, getting membership, is because you're not dreaming big enough. You're not thinking big enough. You're worried about this scarcity mindset. There's too few of us to do something. There's too little money for us to do something. Not enough people know us. And so it stops us from doing amazing things. And I love dreaming about those big things. I absolutely do. So that's my favorite day. I might spam you. I might like have one of these an hour, and Chris might be like, block her already. We're done.
Just don't take over our social media. I mean, you have every right to, but don't do it.
No, I won't do that. I'm just going to bother you.
That's fine.
Fellows on checking me. You know?
No, I think that's great, because if you would have started with me, I would have started with that one being my favorite as well. I think for the reasons that Garrett and Amanda have said, and for so many more. I mean, it gives us the opportunity to look out the windshield rather than paying attention in the rearview mirror, right? And yes, that rearview mirror is amazing, and it's given us this foundation to build, but everything is out the windshield, and that's the fun part is thinking about what's going to happen, right? I mean, there's sometimes when you sit around and you're trying to come up with something and people are like, everything's already been thought of. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. We're only constrained by our own imaginations and our minds, and that is looking forward to so many things out there, and having that 30,000 foot level to kind of look down and see what it's, what can we do to make a difference, and looking forward to seeing what people do with that Spirit Week for sure.
Yeah, I think my favorite is what Suzanne just commented, is Grange Shirt Day. I love seeing Grange shirts from around the country. I love seeing the way, like, Grange apparel has always seemed to have been a thing, first of all. But I just love seeing the variety and the ways that people show off their Grange pride, and the differences in the ways that we like showing off what we do and our history. I like Suzanne's comment. It shows the history of the Grange through the shirts of the members. Right now I only have junior Grange camp shirts dating back to about 2014 when I rejoined the junior committee. But like, seeing people come to camp who are wearing the junior Grange camp shirts from their parents and seeing it passed down through the generations, I think that's really neat for me. So in a second here, I'm going to introduce another member of our team who has been hiding backstage here. So when she's available, I'll bring her in. But until then, Amanda, I'm going to toss it over to you to talk. You touched briefly on membership, which is, of course, your realm. What are some ways that you think we can get members excited this month?
That's a really hard thing because I feel like a lot of things pass us by, right? You're in the moment and you have meetings once a month, maybe twice, and you forget to say something one month and then it's already gone by the time you meet the next time. Grange Month is great because it happens every April, right? So the first thing is nobody should be surprised by this. We should be all be able to get excited. The other thing is we've had a membership gain for the past 2 years. We haven't been able to say that in like 70 years. That should be exciting for folks. I mean, it's not about my realm. That's about every one of you guys out there who has brought a new person into the hall, and those new people have gotten excited enough probably to bring someone else in. That's, if nothing else, right there to me is an exciting thing because it's showing that Grange is really relevant, and the things that we have done, the things that root us, are things that we do well and people are still looking for, and they can move us forward. And the last thing is, I mean, we get to do these fun events, right? We get to do the Fellowship Friday. We get to do this. We're doing the stuff on Grange Spirit Week. We are interacting, with our membership. We're interacting as a family, brothers and sisters. And I think that's so important for that excitement level, because it can be really easy to just be like, oh, I'm one of, 130,000 people. But you're not. You're part of the family here. Like we know your name. We see you. We're really excited to have you with us. And so I think if you can invite a few more people to come view these, come on Fellowship First Friday, come on the Membership Matters, come on any of the programs that you're hosting, especially towards the end of the month where we're talking about the future of the Grange, there's nothing better than having that excitement that is contagious. Right. I hope I'm giving that to you.
You absolutely. Yeah. And I appreciate that. And I think so on April 28th, I'm running a workshop that day a webinar that everybody's welcome to attend called What's Next. We'll be talking about it in a little bit. And it's about carrying the spirit of Grange Month forward. I think sometimes we get caught in this is Grange Month, this is when we celebrate, this is the only time we celebrate. But I think let's think in the terms of Grange year. Think in the terms of Grange years and taking the enthusiasm of the growth of the past 2 years and keeping that growth going and keeping the excitement and the enthusiasm going. And that's why I'm going to bring in our next guest here, because she is one of the most enthusiastic people I can think of right now. And that is National Grange Outstanding Young Patron, Ashley Holloman, who is joining us from North Carolina tonight. She was at another event, but now she's able to jump in with us for the very end of tonight. So Ashley, hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you guys?
I'm doing well. Ashley, I want to put you on the spot here and ask you a question I asked everybody else earlier, and that is, what does Grange Month mean to you?
I would say Grange Month is probably just an opportunity, exciting time to be able to promote the Grange and just trying to get the story out there, the name out there, making people aware. I think during when we got to be in DC, Ashton said it best. Like I felt like over and over we were like, "Have you heard of Grange? Have you heard of Grange?" And you had to just keep telling the story and telling people and sharing that. And so I think Grange Month is just kind of an opportunity for us to just share that story, share the opportunities, share the experience that Grange has on us, and everybody's Grange experience is completely different. And so just taking that moment to be able to post it out there on social media for people to see it, and taking that time, like if you're at an event and sharing about, hey, this is an opportunity for Grange, like we have this happening for the youth, things are starting to happen, regional events are coming up, so there's a lot of things for people to get involved in and to expand their experience. And so why not encourage people to get involved in that? And so Grange Month is a great opportunity to be able to promote those things.
Exactly. Ashley mentioned being in DC. Our youth and junior leadership team over Ag Day here in the middle of March were able to go into DC and kind of work directly with other student ag leaders from FFA, AFA, Manners, and 4-H, and really become the advocates and the future leaders of ag. And so I want to say, Garrett and Ashley, what was that like for you? The ability to, get up and speak, talk to some legislators, and to really talk about the Grange.
So
Actually, I'll
for
let you go
me,
first, Garrett.
okay. So for me, Ag Day and just talking to people was just a learning experience to see and learn about the legislative process, even just about our Grange, and being able to talk to people who I recognize from DC and just knowing and being able to interact with people and telling them our story, because I like to think of it as we were the grassroots of a lot of other organizations. And that just made me smile because I got to tell people about that. When we did a media training with the National 4-H, and that was just really fun because it was the youth to the 4-H leaders, and then there were staff from each of the organizations who came and being able to do that. And it was just nice just to see, because I looked around the room and I was like, this is the future, and it looks like the Grange, just looks like anything looking around, because we're youth and relevant. And something that goes with being relevant and talking for youth and ag is that something that I know I enjoyed for National Ag Day is speaking with the Secretary of Ag about our different organizations and seeing all the organizations sitting at the table with the secretary and being able to do that side of it.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off of that. I think Garrett was definitely a rock star when we were in DC. He definitely took the wheel and was doing a great job about just reaching out and networking with people and kind of just really like promoting it. And I think that was really the greatest experience of the whole thing is the number of people that you would think would have some sort of connection to Grange, 4-H, FFA, and they're like, what is Grange? And so just trying to like advocate for that, but also being around other people who are really like induced, I guess, like really into like ag and like all about it and promoting it and lobbying and networking for the organization or for ag in general, and just trying to gain exposure, make people aware, was really cool to kind of just see like different organizations, what lobbyists were working on, what different activities they were kind of trying to push through. You know, they're in the process right now of working on the farm bill, so just kind of hearing some of those things that they're looking at, trying to promote. So I think it was really cool to just kind of get that experience and to work with other people. You know, I'm very fortunate that I have a lot of experience with working with students through FFA, working through students through 4-H, and even working through students with Grange. And so just kind of seeing those organizations come together, and then even learning about new organizations myself, like AFA, Manners, which I think are two really great organizations, and hearing their story. Like, I didn't know those even existed. And so I think, like, we like to think, oh, nobody knows about Grange or we don't do a great job. But I think there's also other organizations that are trying to, or really experiencing that as well. And so just having the opportunity to meet with other people and share those things is just a great, awesome experience. And so I really enjoyed the DC experience and being able to just kind of hang out with my teammates, hang out with you guys, and just kind of get that exposure and walk some laps in DC. You know, I haven't quite walked quite that much since, but you know, it was really fun.
No, my blisters have finally healed, so it's time to go back, I think.
Oh, you guys.
So Garrett alluded to it a little bit, but our youth and junior team, so that's Ashley and Garrett, and then Ashton Medlin, the other youth ambassador, and Gail Reburn, our national junior ambassador, along with other student leaders, actually got to sit at the same table with U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack, which not many students have the ability to say. That was an incredible opportunity to listen to him speak, and he listened right back. And that was, I think, the coolest part to me, because I was just sitting on the sidelines watching this happen, was that he actually listened and was able to reiterate some of their points back to them afterwards. And he was so in tune with the future of ag and the future of America as a whole. Like, ag is the backbone of America, and it's great to have such awesome advocates in our student leaders. So, Ashley, I'm going to have you introduce our second game, our final game tonight. as I jump in here. And we are going to play Guess the Movie. Oh, sorry, I'm still showing answers there. There we go.
So, we created Guess the Movie, based off of, trying to keep people young and hip with their emojis and making sure that you understand those. So, as we click through, there's going to be some emojis that pop up, and the goal is to try and guess what movie those emojis represent. And I'll be honest, I made this and I don't always remember the answers, so I might have to. So we might be working it out together. So
yes, because I'm sharing screen, I no longer see the answers that I could see earlier.
So I think for the most part I remember them, but we'll see. Some of them might be a little bit tricky.
Okay. Garrett has decided he's turning his camera off, so he's not participating.
Sorry, I had a visitor pop in.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So here we go. Here's number 1, and I guess this will be up to our team to shout out as quickly as possible because I don't think the Facebook comments will come in fast enough. So here we go. Number 1.
Lion King.
Hey, and Chris, you were afraid you weren't going to be able to know these.
I know. It's like probably the one movie that I have seen.
I'm muting myself. Man.
Okay, number 2.
Ooh, Aladdin.
Aladdin.
Sorry, the emoji work here is incredible. Yes, that's definitely Aladdin.
Definitely Aladdin, yes.
Here we go.
Oh, this one's
Ratatouille.
hard, but I know.
Ratatouille.
It is Ratatouille, yep.
Garrett, good job. Ratatouille. With the rat and the chef's hat. I love that. Number 3. This one's the hard one.
I was going to say Bad Santa, but that's not.
Is this a Grinch?
Yes! Actually made it. It doesn't
I was
have her own answer.
I can't remember what it was.
You've got the green
The
devil
green heart
dude.
is what?
Yeah,
Santa.
there we go. Lily jumping in there. She got it.
Yep, look at that.
Okay.
Princess
Ooh,
and the Frog.
no, Frog Princess.
Princess and the Frog. That's the Disney.
Okay.
Awesome. I see we have a theme here.
Yes. Except for this one.
And
I mean, I guess kind of. The new one.
There we go. Chris got it. Spider-Man. That is the best beard I've ever seen on an emoji. Some of these emojis you never see like blown up to full size.
Yeah, that looks like the first dude there.
Spider Dwayne.
darker hair. Man. Ooh, Kung Fu Panda.
It is Kung Fu Panda, yep.
I love that. Okay, we're gonna do 2 more.
Titanic.
Titanic, yes.
Good.
Home Alone.
That's my guess. I
think it is Home Alone. Now I'm trying to remember.
Okay, so
Not-
note to self.
That home is not as grand as
Study
the one
beforehand.
in that TV movie or that movie.
Brittany and Suzanne agree that it's Home Alone.
We'll go with Home Alone. I mean, he looks sad, so that's probably why I picked that one.
Let me stop sharing the screen and go back to the answers page here. Yes, it is Home Alone according to the answers. Okay, so we're going to start wrapping up tonight. We're going a little over because we had some technical difficulties and not streaming on Facebook earlier. But Brittany, I like that. It's going to say up, but there are not balloons.
And there was an old guy, right? I think the old guy would have had to be in.
That's true, and Kevin the bird. Suzanne wants to know where we get the emojis. Ashley, where'd you copy those emojis from?
So I actually am very fortunate to have a MacBook, so I just copied them to I sent myself a text message so I could pull it up, and then I copied them and then blew them up. But they copied right into Google Documents or into a Google slide, so I was actually impressed by that. So you might just be able to type in some emojis in your phone and write them over into a Google slide.
And I would say that these are also 2 programs that we would be able to share with local Granges that were created by the National Youth Ambassador or the National Youth Team that if you would like a copy of the folder that has these games in, just let us know, and we can doop and get that shared with you so that you guys can, use these as a time filler in your programs too. So Amanda, I'm going to toss to you now to talk about a fun program, educational and enriching opportunity that you are offering right now, and that is the Shipmates program. You are muted, Amanda.
Again, I'll tell you. Sorry. So last year we launched the Shipmates program, which really is about membership, leadership, and fellowship. And I'm just not the best person at naming things, so it became Shipmates because everything had the word ship in it. This program was designed to make sure that there's at least one person in each region of our country. So the 5 regions that we currently have set up for regionals and national conference, in order to better answer some questions, to be right there, that they can give some workshops. And it's not a program that designs to completely end. They are with us in the future because they have some knowledge about different things with membership, leadership, fellowship. So these folks have been training since last August, and they came to our national session last year. And now we're looking for class 2. So if you are interested in learning some more about leadership, membership, and fellowship opportunities, or fellowship, and have opportunities to be able to take that knowledge and those skills that you're getting out to your regional conference, out to your state, and also helping when we have potential leads for new Granges, especially in areas where we may not have Granges around, and be mentors. That's part of the charge of this program. So that application is open now. It is similar in the structure to the Fellows program. You're responsible for getting to National Convention, but you also have training leading up to it. So last year we did about once a week for several weeks, about 10 weeks. And this year it'll be about the same. And so if you're interested in that program, please make sure, Phil, I'm sure is going to put up the link. Make sure to check that out on our website. And we have 6 fellows who were members of our first class who are also looking for folks in their region who are interested, but who can tell you a little bit about what we did with the program. It is kind of academic, in a way. It's not your typical, like, hey, I just got a certificate and I came to a few things. We really did do a whole lot of work and use some of the stuff that I'm learning out of my doctoral program to do it. So I thought that was a lot of fun, and hopefully some other folks think it might be fun too, and they will apply for the program. June 15th, I think, is our deadline.
Awesome. And now I'm going to jump in here and solo myself for a second, because I'm going to talk about the Communication Fellows program, which is another program that runs through National Convention and doesn't end at convention either. This year we will have a bit smaller class of fellows, but an exciting news. After seeing the work of student leaders at Ag Day down in DC a couple weeks ago now, I am reserving one fellow spot for a non-Grange member who is a member of FFA, 4-H, NJHA, Manners, AFA, or some other student ag organization who wants to know more about the Grange and wants to learn some more. So if you know students at least 16 years old who and up through college age or older, who are interested in learning more about the Grange and have a communication interest, the Communication Fellows program is designed to help tell the Grange story. And so having an outsider's perspective, I think, is really important. So often Grange members are very insular in the way that we talk about ourselves and the way that we look at the Grange. And so having the option to have a total outsider's perspective and partnering with these other ag organizations, I think, is really important for our future. But fellows, we start meeting at the beginning of August or middle of August. Our applications are due, I think, July 1st. That information for both the Shipmates and the Fellows program will be in this week's Patrons Chain. So if you're not subscribed, go to nationalgrange.org/subscribe and get yourself on that list right now. And that information will be out. Those applications are available, I believe, also on the website already. So go ahead, take a look. And then I'm going to bring us all back here for a second and bring Garrett back in here as well. And the one last thing that I want to talk about some other events we have coming up this month. We're going to throw this right over Chris's face here. So we have our other National Grange events that you can tune into this month. This Friday, we have Fellowship First Friday with Amanda, where the April topic is Grange Strong. If you happen to sign up now, you might get something really cool in mail. So that is grange.biz/First Friday. We'll get you there. On April 10th, sponsored by the Grange Foundation's 1 in 1,000 Club, is a great program called Solving the Puzzle of Long-Term Care and Estate Planning. This is the third year that we've done this program. Every year is a little different. And this is led by John T. Griffin, who is an elder law attorney out of Florida. So disclaimer, it's based on his knowledge and what happens in Florida. But it's a great program to tune into if you're planning for the future. Then, and also how to include something like the Grange Foundation in your estate planning for planned giving. So let's start thinking about that as well and ensuring a legacy for the future. For example, the Ernestine Kaiser Memorial Scholarship, those applications were due at the beginning of March, and we'll be announcing those winners pretty soon, I believe. So stay tuned. But that was some planned giving and some benevolence toward the Grange and for the future of our order. Then from April 14th to the 20th, we talked about Grange Spirit Week already. On April 17th, we're back again with Amanda for Membership Matters. Amanda, what's your theme this month for Membership Matters? Do you have one set?
So actually, fun fact, we are waiting to see if we've got a guest presenter. And so hopefully we're going to be looking at ways to reach out to new individuals who are interested in doing something more in their community, and giving you a couple different scenarios and how each of those groups or individuals may see the Grange and see their entry point.
I love that. On April 23rd, we have the Lecturers Forum with National Grange lecturer Tom Gwynn, who will be joining us. I'm not sure what his program is yet, but if you have questions, you can email him at lecturer@nationalgrange.org. This graphic, by the way, is available on our Facebook page as well, so just jump over there. You can grab all these links. And then, like I said, on April 28th at 8:30 in the evening Eastern, I'll be leading a workshop called What's Next, which is a quote from my favorite TV series ever, The West Wing. So we will be talking about where do we go from here and to continue the enthusiasm of Grange Month into the future. So team, closing thoughts on Grange Month. Take it away.
Get out there and have fun.
Yeah, I was going to say, any way to just kind of promote. I mean, we have the opportunity and the luxury to be able to just kind of share the things that Grange mean to us. And we have a lot of people on tonight, like tuning in. And I know people will go back and watch this. So just taking the opportunity to just share this post, share pictures, share activities, just getting it out there, sharing the story, and keeping Grange alive for many, 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 many more years, times like 1,000.
I would say definitely make the most of it. And I know that's something that someone told me at the beginning of my ambassador year is make the most of it. And that's a prime example of do this for Grange Month is any chance that you get to join a Zoom call with someone, join it, because you never know where that could lead you.
Don't get lost in your meetings. Take this month to dream big. Talk about something more than what you just go through on your agenda every month. And make sure that this month you commit to being a Grange ambassador. Hopefully you're doing it all the time, but the two young folks here have shown us exactly what it is to go out and tell this story. I'm sure that they would be happy to talk with you, but every one of us can be a Grange ambassador and talk about how awesome this organization is to be a part of.
Absolutely. This month, I encourage you to tell your hashtag Grange story about how you are hashtag Grange strong. So make sure you're using the hashtags in all of your Facebook posts. We want to be able at the national level to track where our story is reaching. If you're not somebody who likes being outward and talking about the Grange, find a way to make the Grange a part of your life so that it's not something uncomfortable to talk about. I don't know why we're our best kept secret and why we all feel so hesitant to invite people to our meetings. Get out there and invite somebody in. And you never know that whether you might be the connection that they need to finding a new importance in their life, or to finding something that they can feel like they can really contribute to. Be that person who's reaching out into your community to make things better. The one graphic, I think I hit it earlier, said working together to build stronger communities. And it's not just about the communities where we live, but it's about the communities of the people that we're touching and the people that we're working with. And like the community of the 5 of us that are on tonight, we are building a stronger community with the 5 of us tonight, and with everybody that's watching. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Happy Grange Month. We're going to end it here. If you want to send people back to watch this video later, it'll take a few minutes to buffer, but then it will be available on our YouTube and Facebook pages. So please keep following along, and happy Grange Month from all of us here.